Hey family, it's your girl Tina and welcome back to the channel. Guess what I have? The Somerset Studio August, September, and October edition. I'm excited. Can y'all come on and tell him thank you? So I decided to come on and kind of show you all the new addition to the Somerset Studio. This edition really has me excited because it has so many beautiful projects that I am going to be trying. Now, y'all know I need rhyme and reason in my art. And I talk about that all the time, that I look at some people's stuff and I just be like, okay, what is it? Why is it? What's the purpose? But I have a thing for faces and I have a thing for eyes. So you all that's been rocking with me for a long time, you know that I have that 10 of Eyes by Jane Davenport. And then I also have some of her face stamps that I want to use. So I am excited and I have some things in mind for this kind of art in my art journal, and it just inspired me so I thought I was gonna come on here and share with you all this Somerset Studio. And now I'm not gonna go from page to page, but I just want to show you some of the things that inspired me so far. This little puppy right here, oh my goodness. So this whole issue, you all, is dedicated to home, where you grew up. What about where your surroundings, your town, the house you grew up in? It's all surrounded. The whole theme of this issue's magazine is surrounded around home, a house. And so this is a mini tag journal um dedicated to home, fly away home. And I am so inspired by this project. And I remember when they were advertising, asking people to send in entries for this particular issue that was going to be coming up. And I had contemplated and I never did. But you know what? It's never too late. I don't have to submit it, but I am going to create because this issue just spoke to me. So this little tag book right here is definitely one of the ones that I was inspired by. I'm going to try out. And so then here's some of the pages I just love. And when I think about home, I think about the house I grew up in. I think about my grandparents, because it was my grandparents' house that I grew up in. And you all, I just can't wait to share with y'all. So here's another submission in this magazine, Between the Hills and the Rivers. So this young lady, she made a mini album of basically pictures and attractions of the town that she grew up in. Absolutely love this article, and I was definitely inspired. So yes, and so here's some other little clips of her album. I like everything. I like the textures that she used. She used flowers. And she talks about in the article, when you read it, that she took some of the photos, and even though the photos were in color, she printed them out in black and white. And I tell you, it made a difference. So she wanted to make her album vintage. Love. This is more. She included class pictures, pictures of her family members sitting in the class. Just really nice. A lot of texture. I really wish I could feel this in person, but I could just imagine. She got cardboard on here. She has buttons. She have a wooden frame here. Just a lot of texture. She got ribbons, paper flowers. I love it. Yes, this one I definitely was inspired by. So let me show you another one. I was inspired by this, Perceptions of Home. And it's funny because I was in Michael's about I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, I was bored, didn't have nowhere to go. I got up one morning, I went for a walk, and then I just drove to Michael's. I sat out in Michael's parking lot and walked around it for like an hour and a half, did a second walk, waiting for them to open. And when I went in, they had, in a wood section block, they had wood blocks shaped just like this. I kid you all not. And I looked at that block and I looked at that block and I looked and I'm like, what could I do with this block? It's not the ATC block that Miss D was telling me about, but I was drawn to that block. You all, I wish I would have had gotten that block because it would have been perfect for this project, Perceptions of Home. So the lady in this that created this project, she made her own little shape out of chipboard and cardboard. And what she did was she took photos and placed them on the front and the back of each one of the boxes that she created. And this was her perception of home. Some of them she put pictures of her family members. Just really, really, really nice. She covered the boxes front and back, and she used different strips and paper. I really, really like how that turned out. So I was inspired by that. It is so many wonderful, a home with roots. So this was a spotlight, and I like all of the color and how they put the wings on the side. So this is actually a wall hanging. I really like the way that came out. These are called expressions. So the people sent in different pieces of things that they created that reminded them of their time at home. This is really, really nice. I am excited about this book. I don't know if you all realize it or not, but I get excited when I think about my childhood, when I think about my granny's house, and there's so many memories there that we did. So I want to come in and share with you all this edition of Somerset Studio that's out in the stores now. Look at this. This is home is where your circus is. And that's so true, because how many of us grew up in the circus? I grew up in the circus. What do I mean? It was a lot of us. It was a lot of grandkids there. We stayed at my grandparents' house. We went to school by even the kids that lived with my aunts and uncles, everybody went to school around the corner from my grandma's house. So everybody got dropped off in the morning. Everybody got picked up. We was at mama's house 24/7. And yes, it was a circus. And yes, we had many clowns. So I really related to this article right here. And I really liked it. I liked the color. I liked everything about this this project that she put together. So basically, she put an accordion book. That's what she did. She made an accordion book. And this is how it looked. I really, really liked, home is where your circus is. I love where we always love to return. And that is such a true statement, because I always love returning back to mama's house. No matter where we went, our goal was to get back to mama's house. And it was nowhere like home. Yes. So you all, this edition of the magazine has really touched me. I'm excited. I'm going to be making some projects that's inspired out this magazine. So I want you to keep it locked. I want you to be on the lookout for some of these projects. Okay. Now, I also want to share with you in this video that I have been watching Dee Dee Willingham. And she was recommended to watch from G. Brody and Miss D Special Things. And so I have been tipping in on her every so often. And I was like, okay, she has some nice, nice stuff. But it's never been anything that drawed me in. Until last week, I was watching one of her lives. And she was showing a magazine journal. And I said, a magazine journal? Now, I had heard of magazine journals. And actually, I had tried to make one according to a tutorial that I saw. But that thing was a mess. And I just was like, no, this ain't for me. Well, this magazine journal, it drew me in. Number one, she was using Somerset Studio magazines. I almost flipped because I love Somerset and I do have a lot because I subscribe to them. And so she was showing that she uses it as an art journal. And so she showed us how to put one together from beginning to end, and I thought that I would give it a try. So now she usually combines 3 of her magazines together. In Her Studio and Somerset Studio are made by the same company, okay? This one is just talks about people's creative space, and I love this magazine. I get so inspired. I love the articles in this magazine. And so I have a lot of these because I subscribe to this particular magazine as well. So I decided to try and follow her tutorial. And you all, this is what I came up with. Now, she uses 3 magazines and she puts them together. I chose to only do 2 since this is my first one. I said I wanted to just try this technique, see if I like it, and see if I would do more art journaling in here than I do in my art journal books, okay? Now, let me tell you my rhyme and reason, because y'all know I gotta have a rhyme and reason. I chose the In Her Studio magazines because I felt like they could give me prompts. And what do I mean? So in this In Her Studio magazine, there's a lot of like questions that's thrown to the artist, and then the artist reply, such as studio playlist. So this article is by a lady, I don't know her, I don't see her name, but she answers why her studio playlist. So she tells what her studio playlist is and why. So I felt like that could be a prompt for me. So what I would do is I would come in and I would paint all of this out, paint all of that out. If I like the photos, I could leave the photos. If I don't want the pictures, I could paint the pictures out. I could paint portions of the pictures out, and then I will answer this prompt. Does that make sense to y'all? That's my rhyme and my reason of why I chose to do this. Okay, in this article, overcoming a creative block. So, once again, she answered 3 ways that she overcomes creative block. I can block that out, leave the title there. I can black these pictures or even this and put my own art in here and then answer this prompt, overcoming a creative block. I thought that would help me, give me a feel. Same with this. Now, there's no prompt on here, but I love these photos. I love those bracelets. I love the necklace, right? I can come in here. I could black this out, black that out, and I could write my own journaling for whatever it is I want to journal. If I want to, I can come in here and I could turn her neck to brown, a dark brown tone, change her skin tone if that's what I like to do. I like this picture, but again, I can come in and black all of this out and leave this part here and put my own art of what I want to do here. So that's my thought with this. Like I said, I love this magazine. This is a label thing. This is one of my favorite articles in this particular issue. I probably wouldn't do anything to this because I want to savor her room. Her crafty space was just like so cute to me. And all she do is collect labels and she make projects with her different labels. Okay, and here's a continuation. Again, here's another prompt, studio sounds. So she listed all of her studio sounds: wind chimes, windstorm, rain, rain and thunder, ocean waves, water and creek or waterfall. She likes to hear birds chirping, city streets, the playlist from my daughter's wedding. So these are the sounds that you will hear if you were in her studio at during different times of the year, of the day. This is the sounds that she likes to hear. So these are more or less natural, sounds that she likes. So I visioned that she lives probably more or less in a big open space, probably, where you can get the good rain and thunder sounds, the ocean waves and stuff like that. So I love her article. I probably would not do anything to this. If anything, I would black out her response, put my response here, and then I could do the same thing right here. But as far as the photos, I would leave them just like they are because I love it. So does that make sense to you all? That's what I love about in her studio. The 5 oddest places I've embroidered. So I don't embroider, right? But I could cross out embroidered, and I could put the word create, or I could put the word journal. I could put the word heat emboss, anything that I do. The oddest places I've ever done it, and then black out her response and put my response. Now I love these photos. I love the artist sitting on her front porch on a hot Sunday evening and just relaxing and doing her craft. So I just want to come in with you all and show you what you could be looking forward to in some upcoming videos. I'm going to start working on this because I had to after I glued the books together, I had to let them sit overnight with some heavy books on top to make sure that they bind well. Then I had to go back and I had to put in my tape. So I put the tape in, and then I had to do the same thing for the front and the back of the 2 magazines that meet up together. And then I let it sit again and let it dry. So now it's all dry. So now I'm in between you all putting a cover for my magazine journal or leaving it like this. Now I'm going to tell you, if this idea works for me, then I'm going to be making another one. And I'll probably be using the Somerset Studio magazines. But here's the deal. My Somerset Studio magazine covers, I love the covers. So I might not cover up any of my covers. That's what I'm torn in between now. I do like this cover. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to cover it and make another cover or leave it like this. I really just don't know. You all tell me what you think. Maybe I'm going to see what you all had to say. Maybe that can help me. But this is what I'll be doing. Now, if anybody was watching my live, I think that was last week. I did a live and I showed a page. This was out of one of my issues in her studio too. And I was waiting for this one to dry. And I was just anxious because I was thinking about what Dee Dee had showed, how she journals and do her art in this magazine. And so I had some paint sitting around on my desk. And I just started putting the paint down. She calls this finger painting, where she just took acrylic paint and took her finger and, rub the paint in how she wanted it. And you all, I sat there and did this. This is on a magazine page, just 2 pages. And so Dee Dee was explaining that it's better if you use in Somerset Studio or in her studio because they're the same company and the pages are thick. And she is so right, because when I tried to use the fashion magazines and that the old magazine, it was terrible. When I put the paint down, like the paper was disintegrating. It was just tearing. It was too thin. These pages really hold. This is 1 page. This is not a double page glued together. This is 1 page, and I got 4 different colors of acrylic paint and 2 coats of gesso on here, and it held that good. It did not tear or anything. The paper did not get so mushy where it curled up. As you all could see, it came out flat. So I'm excited about this new little adventure that I'm going to try, and I think I'll be more relaxed doing art journaling in this magazine than I am in my actual art journals. I get anxiety a little bit because I be too scared to mess up or whatever. I don't know. And then this is a bigger surface. So I think I need bigger first, and then I can go down to smaller. What do y'all think? I don't know. Tina don't know what she's doing. All I know is I want to play with my paints and get messy and inky and painty, and my hands get all, oh, I love the feel of paint and getting all gooky. So I want to do that, and that's what I'm planning to do in this magazine. So you all, tell me what you think. If anybody has ever done a magazine journal, please let me know in the comments. And if you can you link one of your videos showing, that what you did in your journal? I would love, love, love to see it. All right, you all. I done held y'all too long anyway, but I just wanted to come in and share that with y'all. Thanks for joining me. If you got any questions, comments, leave them below, and look forward to what I'm gonna do in my in this journal. Till next time, wash them hands, stay blessed, and do what? Keep creating. See y'all on the next go round.